people who've been out there and working together in smaller communities who are already leading the way. There's transition towns, there's all sorts of stuff happening, but people are actually taking charge. And we are really lucky today. We actually have some folks with us from Eden Mills. And Eden Mills is a lovely town out here in Guelph, Ontario. And they embarked on this project, on a very similar project, just a few years ago. And they're going to share with us their experiences and how they've been moving forward. So come on up. I think we have, is it John? I should be able to introduce you. John, Linda, and Charles. I apologize that we have to share a mic here, but you'll let them take the mic. Okay, here you go.
Thank you. And we're going to read, because we know we are being controlled. There's somebody watching us with yellow and red cards.
As someone who's played soccer, I know how serious that is. We don't want to be sent off the pitch. So good morning. My name's Charles Simon, and as you heard, we're from Eden Mills. We bring greetings from the village in Ontario, where we launched Eden Mills Going Carbon Neutral in 2007.
Good morning. My name is Linda Sword, and I'm going carbon neutral because the little village of Eden Mills launched me into action.
My wife and I, Anna, visited the village of Ashton Hayes in England and came home determined to use their ideas en model.
That 2 Toronto neighborhoods are joining us in taking the plunge reinvigorates us, and we're here on behalf of 360 villagers to cheer and welcome you on the journey.
As so-called veterans of carbon neutral idea, we're here to tell you that it's a very empowering process, because we all work as volunteers, and because 72% of our 163 households are participating in one way or another, it's strengthened our sense of community and it's changed our ways of life, really without any hardship.
When I first tried to think of energy in terms of tons of CO2 to be reduced, I was intimidated into inaction, even despair. But it was just this kind of despair that finally galvanized us.
We don't pretend to be changing the world, but we do know that we are reducing our footprint, and therefore other footprints can change too. Like you, we're demonstrating hope through action. And best of all, our children are responding and taking off with their own projects.
The most important idée fixe we rejected was that change was dependent on government. We decided not to wait.
And like you, we decided that we would be serious enough that we would measure our footprint regularly.
And then we decided that we would simplify the idea of going carbon neutral by acting in 3 ways to change our footprint.
First, we would reduce our use of energy, particularly renewable, non-renewable energy. For instance, we start paying attention to how many lights we keep burning unnecessarily, what kind of bulbs we use, how we dry our clothes, and how we travel around.
Second, we would replace fossil fuel energy with renewable energy whenever possible. For example, when our budgets permit, we buy green electricity from Bullfrog Power. Or when our appliances give up the ghost, we replace them with more energy efficient ones.
And third, we would sequester or absorb CO2 by planting trees. In this way, our reduction in CO2 emissions would be matched by its absorption, speeding up our progress towards neutrality. In fact, the University of Guelph study showed that environmentally friendly trees in our village already are busy sequestering more than 50% of our emissions before we even began.
We had quite a time coming up with the best way to illustrate our progress. Finally, we figured out it looked something like this.
And you can see that by measuring and working on several fronts at once, our village shoe size is decreasing at a rate which might make a Weight Watchers smile. In fact, 6% of reduction is in emissions in the first 2 years, and 7% sequestration in the first 3.5 years, for a total reduction of 13%. And we want you to know that our Going Carbon Neutral youth group planted more than 5,000 of the 7,000 trees planted in the village. And a further over 23,000 were planted on one of our farms.
Every time one of us tries something new, other villagers are intrigued, even skeptical villagers. We've held 12 workshops, so we figure we're pretty well and relatively painlessly informed. If you'd asked me about insulation techniques 5 years ago, I would have looked blank. Now I can give advice on insulation, right down to pot light fixtures.
Because I'm an architect, it's been fun for me to watch lay people, real people like Linda, get all excited about construction materials.
This past year has been really exciting in the village because all of a sudden people have discovered solar panels and recognized their double value as quiet green energy sources and as investments. By the end of 2011, we'll have 7 or more new solar electric systems installed in the village.
Without the past 4 years of talking, trying things out, such change wouldn't have happened. But when an idea has taken root, suddenly new approaches don't seem outlandish. By going carbon neutral, we're on the cutting edge.
And I have to say, if we hadn't reduced our energy use, I can't imagine what my fuel and electricity bills would be today. The minute we made any change, even a small change, we saved years of future wasteful spending.
We felt that a great way to keep up everyone's enthusiasm is to organize gatherings around food and drink. So, cheers. Our resources, our experience are all yours for the asking. John Krypton here, who did these great graphics, and Anna Simon sitting here in the red. We're all here to answer your questions after you're fully and well launched.
One thing we promised the village of Eden Mills was that going carbon neutral was going to be fun. Now we're hoping it will be fun. We're about to show you if our computer will do it for us. One example, which is our Going Carbon Neutral anthem, sung by some of the young people who are growing carbon neutral.